Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Abigail if you're new, and I make videos about special needs, health issues, and feeding tubes, and also a little bit about biological syncope. I think that's how you say it. If you don't know what that is, it's basically an issue um where you can look it up online for a better explanation, but um basically like my body overreacting and um basically either making me faint or coming close to fainting. I recently just got diagnosed with it. It's um most common in young adult girls. I don't know a whole lot about it. Um I'm still kind of learning about it, but that's basically what I know. Um and there's different things that can cause a fainting episode, such as like anxiety about fainting, anxiety in general. Um, there's like a list of things that can cause an episode. Most people are only out for like a minute or two when it happens, but because of this issue, I've only went out one time, but I feel like I'm going to go out quite often, and so I've been mostly staying at home. But last Sunday, I did leave the house long enough to go get a coffee, so I decided that this Sunday, which will be tomorrow, I'm going to go to just Sunday school. Our Sunday school is 45 minutes. This will be the first time that I'm like around our church people since this started happening. So I am a little bit nervous, but I know that if anything does happen, like if I faint or anything like that, the people in our Sunday school class will be able to handle it. I mean, I probably won't go out, but they said like the fear of going out can cause an episode, so I don't know. But tomorrow is the day I go back. So I'm excited about going back to Sunday school. Um I decided this week to just do Sunday school instead of Sunday school and church. Just because I know I'm already gonna be like a little nervous being around people. And like the problem is that like at home whenever I feel like I'm going to faint, I have my bed that's like my safe spot. And um I don't know how else to like describe it besides whenever I'm laying down on my bed, if I go out on my bed, like if I faint on my bed, I'm not as scared. But fainting anywhere else makes me nervous. And so, like, today I pushed myself a little bit to, instead of sitting on my bed all day, um, I went to the living room some of the day and sat on the couch, knowing that by me just sitting down, if I were to go out, I would still be okay. So it's been a lot of like little steps like that. But tomorrow is going to be a really big step for me because I'm obviously nervous about having a moment in public, but at the same time, I have realized that if I don't push myself a little bit, I don't know what's gonna happen. And I feel like if I don't make this push to make myself get out of the house or make myself be around people, I'm just gonna like keep on having a excuse to not get out of the house. And that's not healthy. So, I am doing it. I am going to Sunday school tomorrow, and I am hoping that I am okay for that long. Because the doctor told me that having anxiety about fainting can cause an episode, which like helped but like didn't help at the same time. Because I'm like, okay, it's good to be prepared that if I'm like too anxious it could happen, but like at the same time I kind of wish like they didn't tell me like that. I don't know, but I think a lot of our church people don't know. I know our pastor's wife knows, and so does another lady in our church, but I didn't tell most people because I wanted them to be surprised. um they haven't seen me for a while. It's been, I don't know, maybe a month or so since I've been, which I know is a long time, but I really have to push myself to get out there and at least try, because like I told my dad today, if I don't push myself to do things, I won't know what will happen if I don't go anyway. So I don't know about what the plan is next Sunday, but this Sunday is Sunday school and I'm really excited to see people, and I think it will be really good for my mental health to um like see people and visit and all that. Um there's not like a medication for like the actual issue. There is a med that I'm on to help my heart rate, and then another med I'm on to help my anxiety. So, one of my meds is just once a day, the other one is 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and then nighttime. So, I'm really excited. There was also a story that I also wanted to put in here. Something that I haven't shared with you all because, to be honest, when it first happened, it gave me really bad anxiety, but I feel like I'm more over it now that it's been a couple of years ago. So I'm going to share this story one time, and I probably won't share it again because I honestly don't want those flashbacks. So, start off I guess it was at least a couple of years ago. I was home alone. Everyone in the family had somewhere to be besides me. And I'm an adult, so I'm fine being alone, but most of the time I do have my older brother here, or like usually my dad, but at that particular time it was just me. And it's always been one of those things that if I'm home alone and something were to happen, obviously call 911 or call my parents. But honestly, like, our neighbors usually watch our house for us, so I would say we live in a pretty safe neighborhood for the most part. Um, so I'm gonna get into it of what happened. So my dad is a lawnmower mechanic, and um, that basically means that he works on lawnmowers at our house, and he's been doing this for several years. And we've never really had a problem with people coming down to our house and dropping off lawnmowers. If a customer comes over and drops off a lawnmower and my dad isn't home, they just call him and is like, hey, I dropped off this mower. Like, just call me back or whatever when you get home. That's like how it usually is. Well, this specific situation happened where somebody rang the doorbell. I was the only one at home, and I thought that it was probably a relative or something, so I had screamed across the house just a minute. I walk to the living room and I look out the window and I see this truck that I've never seen before. It was, instead of being in our driveway, we had no cars at home because both my parents were gone. It was parked in front of our house in the street. And the guy, instead of like going up our driveway to our front door, he went right through our yard to our front door. And he rang the doorbell about, I think it was about 3 times in a row, and I didn't answer it. Then he began to bang on the door super hard. I didn't answer it. And then he started to, thankfully the door was locked, but he started to wiggle the doorknob. And that's whenever I realized that something wasn't right. So I call my mom, she's at town, and I'm like, hey, does my dad have a customer stopping by? Because sometimes strangers do come to our house, like if my dad has a lawnmower customer dropping off a lawnmower, we don't always like really know these people. And my mom was like, no, nobody's dropping off anything today that I know of. Why? And I told her exactly what had happened. And she was like, okay, is the guy still there? And I was like, oh, I don't think so. I don't see the car. And my mom had me get on my phone, and she said that if the person breaks in, lock yourself in the bathroom and call 911. So I'm like on the phone with my mom, and I'm like freaking out. And I immediately thought, act like somebody else is at home. Because if they don't think that I'm home alone, maybe they won't like come in. So I go to the bathroom and I act like I'm having a conversation, like my mom's in the shower. And I start talking like super loud, and then I would quit talking and then act like my mom responded, even though my mom wasn't actually there. And finally, the guy left. Thankfully, he didn't like actually break in. He was not able to get the front door open. If he was to actually come in the house, I would have had to call 911. But thankfully, he like didn't actually break in. So I called my mom, and I was like, I'm freaking out. I had like a huge anxiety attack. I was like, I really need to get out of this house. I don't know if this guy's gonna come back, and I'm home alone and I don't know what to do. So my mom came back from town. She picked me up. I went back up to town with my mom, and to this day, the guy still hasn't ever came back to our house. So I don't know if this was like a crazy person or someone that had the wrong address and thought that they lived here. I don't know. But it was one of the creepiest situations I've ever been in, and the closest to a break in that I've ever been in. And it took me literally years to even be able to talk about it. I don't think I've talked about it since I told my parents, because it was like that traumatic for me. But I'm really glad that my parents taught me what to do in an emergency, because that could have been like way worse than what it was. And thankfully I wasn't hurt or anything. The person didn't break in, but I thought it was a really interesting story, so I wanted to share it with you all. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.